Boatman Patterson, class of 1994. My career now, I have had a fabulous career, and I truly do owe that to the legal education that I received at McGeorge. I have a mixture of both policy and practitioner experience. I have practiced law, primarily in redevelopment and community development and real estate transactional law. I have served in an advisory capacity and for policymakers and elected officials. I have worked for mayors. I have worked for speakers of the California State Assembly. I have worked for 2 governors and the President of the United States. So I've had a pretty awesome career, and I absolutely do base that career and my ability to open doors and the networking opportunities that I was given and the strong legal foundation that I was provided at McGeorge has helped me along the way. I had decided to go to law school when I was probably 5 years old. I had a grandmother who I remember very distinctly, an uncle that was in and out of the criminal justice system. And I remember her always saying that she wished the family had a lawyer. So at 5, I had made up my mind that I was going to go to law school. It was a long route. I did not go into criminal law. I went into transactional law, but I think that's where my mind was made up that I was going to go to law school. McGeorge, in particular, was a community that I felt was going to be welcoming. They had accepted me, but I was a single mom, and I had family that lived in Sacramento, and I needed that support system, being a single mom going to law school at full time, and it worked for me. When I was in law school, the community was very small. I had a support group that was absolutely necessary because times were pretty hostile. Especially being a black female in a school that was predominantly white male. And so my core support group was pretty small, whether it was BALSA or La Raza or the multicultural students. But as I have progressed in my career and as I have given back to the community, that community has expanded. It has been very impactful. I have long-term relationships and lifelong friendships that I made when I was at McGeorge. My current role, I left the Biden administration about 2 years. Well, I stayed there almost 2 years, and I came back earlier this year to run the California Community Reinvestment Corporation, which is one of the largest banking consortiums in the United States, and they finance affordable multifamily housing. Well, at the Capitol Center, because I did have positions in the state legislature, and there were several McGeorge students, and welcoming in new McGeorge students for intern positions or networking opportunities. I thought it was important to me, having had that experience in the state capitol, both on the administrative executive side and within the legislative side, that I be involved in the Capitol program. Oh, I would say it is absolutely significant impact. When you are walking the halls of the state capitol, you will run into several McGeorge students or alum, whether it is a policymaker in one of the policy committees, legislative staff, or a lobbyist. But McGeorge community has a significant impact on state policy. McGeorge is a stay in the Sacramento community, and what I have really embraced and really found hopeful about McGeorge and the law school is that not only has it been supportive of the McGeorge community, but the surrounding community. And I have to give a lot of that to the dean that we currently have, who has embraced inclusivity and embraced diversity. But I believe it's important when you are in a community that you give back to that community, and McGeorge has done that with its various mental health programs, legal service clinics, and partnerships and mentorships with some of the local high schools. So that is, I think, a wonderful evolvement of where I probably saw McGeorge 30 years ago. McGeorge has evolved to be much more inclusive and diverse. I believe when I was at McGeorge some close to 30 years ago, my class was probably the largest class of African Americans, and I think it was probably a class of 6. It was pretty sad. But you have seen McGeorge evolve to look more like the communities that it serves, which is fantastic. I think when you're practicing law and you're dealing with the legal system, to have people who have life experiences and lived experiences who can speak to that, I think it's important. And McGeorge has leaned in on that, and I'm very impressed with where they've come to. Those who do not know their past or do not know their history are doomed to repeat it and make those mistakes. So I will hope that McGeorge remembers the good and the bad, and that they've learned from particular incidences of racial profiling or other things that may have happened on the campus, so that they can learn from that, not to make others feel guilty, but so that people know and understand and have empathy to how the legal system has not always treated everyone equally. And so McGeorge leaning into that and becoming a voice so that we can break racial barriers and break systematic racism. I think a strong legal community has to be the voice of that, and I would like to see McGeorge.